This workflow uses the Curve Color tool for artists who prefer grooming with Maya curves directly. XGen guides can be troublesome for duplicating, moving roots, smoothing, or editing. Converting them into Maya curves, be able to edit freely, then send them back to XGen when ready. In this scene, I have 4 XGen descriptions: head hair, sideburn, special hair, and back hair. To import the XGen guides as Maya curves, go to Menu and select Import Layers. Select the descriptions you want to import and click Create Layer. Once the layers are created, the guides from each XGen description will be converted into Maya curves. Each description gets its own curve group, and each group is converted into a color layer. You can hover over the link button to see which XGen description the layer is connected to. Because the converted curves are sitting directly on top of the original XGen guides, I usually hide the original guides first. You can do this manually inside XGen by turning off each description's guide display one by one. But if you do not want to do that manually in Groomer's tool, there's a shortcut for this. Under the XGen tab, you can use the Guide Visibility tool to quickly turn all XGen guides on or off. Now, everything you see here is Maya curves. Since they are regular Maya curves with CVs, you can move them, duplicate them, rebuild them, smooth them, or sculpt them using the Interactive Curve tool. For example, I can use the Sculpt tool to adjust the curve shape directly. If I set a mesh as the base mesh, I can also move the roots using the Root Snap hotkey in our Sculpt tool, which you can't do with XGen Sculpt. With this, you not only can sculpt or move the roots, but can also smooth on the curve directly. Now, let's look at how this works with XGen. Here I have an XGen description with 3 clumping modifiers set up. To show the clumping better, I will turn on the color preview for the clumping modifier. Since the original guides are hidden, what we are seeing now are the converted Maya curves, so we have the ability to easily move these around and do a lot more with them. I will sculpt on these converted Maya curves. One big advantage of using Maya curves is that you can easily add new guides. In XGen, adding a new guide in the middle of existing guides is not always convenient. But with Maya curves, you can simply duplicate an existing curve, move it where you want, and sculpt it into place. This is where our Interactive Curve tool comes in play. Once you are happy with the curves, click the green Convert button on the layer. This sends the Maya curves back into the linked XGen description as guides. It will ask you to rebake the clump maps. If I preview the primitives, we can see the curve we just placed is not included in our clump map yet. Again, in this description, I have 3 clumping modifiers whenever the number of guides changes, and if you are using guide as points, the clumping maps requires a rebake. You can rebake all clump maps one by one, but it can take time. That is where the multi-clump bake tool is useful. Let's open it and have it available first. You can dock this UI anywhere you like. I like to put it right beneath the Curve Color tool. Before we bake, I just want to show you again that when we click on the green Convert button, it's converting the Maya curve in that layer to the linked XGen description as guides. Let's create one more curve to the side. Again, I am editing directly on Maya curves. It allows me to do much more than XGen guides. And using the green Convert button to convert to guides periodically to check my work. With more guides added, it's time to shift our attention to the next step, baking the clump maps. On the multi-clump bake tool, choose your XGen collection and description. Selecting a description will automatically switch your XGen to that description. Next, choose whether your parent clump is guide-based or generate-based. Basically, this is how you generated the clumping points for your parent clump in the Setup Maps UI. In this case, my parent clump points was initially set up with guide, so I choose guide based. Then I select the parent clump modifier. The tool will automatically find the child clumps connected to that parent clump. When I click the Bake Clump Maps button, it will rebake all the related clumping modifier maps for me. You do not need to click Setup Maps one by one. After refreshing XGen, you can see the new guides are now included in the clumping result. With this setup, you now have the ability to directly edit on Maya Curves and use many of the Maya Curve utility tools in Groomer's tool in shaping of your hair. This makes it very fast to test guide changes. You can move a root, duplicate a curve, reshape it, send it back to XGen, and rebake the clumps to preview the result. This is an alternative way of getting your guides done fast with way more flexibility and way less button clicks. Now, let's look at another case. What if you do not already have an XGen description to convert to curves to, and you want to build a new layer from scratch? For example, let's say I want to create some baby hair on the forehead. Using the Draw tool in the Interactive Curve tool, let's start by drawing some Maya curves directly on the forehead. And always keep things organized, let's group these curves. Select these curves and create a new curve color layer. At this point, the layer is just a normal Maya curve layer. When curves are added to a color layer, curves will be colored automatically, and its width set to a value of 3. You can change the width easily. If we hover to the Convert button, the link shows none, which means this layer is not connected to any XGen description yet. To link it, right-click the Link button and choose Description Link. If there is no description available yet, we need to create one first. Instead of using existing descriptions, let's create a new description for the baby hair. I'll quickly create the description, set up a density map, and paint a small density area on the forehead. Now we have our baby hair description. Let's link the layer again. You will see the new description is available for us to select. Once a layer is linked, the Convert button will turn green. With this setup, we will have the ability to directly work on the curves in this layer, duplicate them, shape them, and convert to XGen with a button click. Sometimes when working with guides or curves, you may wish to see the maps painted on the scalp as a reference to place and position your guides or curves. You can see right now I am all guessing on the root placement. There is actually a tool in Groomer's tool to help with that. In the XGen tab, open the XGen PTEX tool. Choose the XGen description. In the PTEX map option menu, you will have all the PTEX maps associated with this description. In this case, we can select the density map and click Show on Growth Mesh. This lets you preview the density map directly on the mesh. If the density map resolution is too low, you can go back to XGen, find the texture slot, recreate the density map, set the map resolution higher, and repaint it. Click the Refresh button to refresh the PTEX list. Pick the new density mask, assign to the growth mesh. Now you can see where the density area is. With this preview, you can also clearly see the unseen white values that were not shown when we were painting it. Let's clean it up with a solid brush. With the PTEX map on the mesh, now you can use it to move your curves and roots into the correct region. for baby hair. I may also rebuild the curves with fewer CVs because the curves are short and do not need many control points. Once the curve placement looks good, I can convert the curves to XGen guides by just clicking on the green Convert button. You can toggle on XGen guides to check if it converts successful. There is also a preference for whether converted XGen guides should be shown or hidden after conversion. If you prefer to see the guides after converting, you can turn that option off in the Scene Preset settings. And now, whenever you click on the Convert button, the converted guides will be overlaid on top of your curves. Depending on your needs, but I would recommend to leave it on so you do not get confused with guides and curves overlaying on top of each other. Finally, if you want to export these curves to another software such as Houdini, you can select the curve layers you want to export and use the export option. You can export as FBX or Alembic. In this example, I'll choose Alembic. Give the file a name and export it. When you import the Alembic file back into Maya or into another software, the curves will be grouped under an XGT curve group. Each layer will keep its own curve group, so the exported structure is clean and easy to manage.